What is up, all my weebs? It is your God, here with a new video for all of you today. And I'm highly sorry that I haven't been posting a lot. Like, I would just post one video, forget about YouTube, and just sleep. I am really sorry that you guys have been dying from boredom. I'm really sorry. So, based on the picture and the title, you guys know this. It is, what if Belle Belle had the Sharingan? Based on my last video, you guys should get the mix of who Belle is. For the people that haven't watched What If Belle Had the Excalibur, let me go into detail. Belle is an adventurer from a small town, and his parents died. And his parents' wish was to become a hero and adventurer. And his grandfather, his grandpa is Zeus, but he does not know this. And his grandpa is like pervy. He tells him, you should save a woman in a dungeon and they'll gain your aspiration forever. That's what he keeps telling them. This is where he does that, but he doesn't have any revenge for anybody. But let me continue. He goes to the town of, I forgot it's the town, but it's a town where adventurers go to. He's been looking for a party, but everybody been kicking been kicking them out because like every time he goes there, they don't want him because they're not what they see. They want him to be bulky and strong, like some of the people in their parties. This is where a goddess comes up to. And the people in the familiars are goddess or gods, just what you know. And one goddess comes up to him. Her name is Hestia. She is doing really bad, and for Belle to come into her party will make her first party member. And I'm not going to spoil it too far in case you guys are watching it. Let me get into the video. One fateful day. Mommy! No, you can't die! Mommy, Belle Cornell's mom and dad looking. They're slowly crying as well. Well, this is our final wish, son. They will both, Belle Cornell's mom would say, I would want you to be a hero and an adventurer. Her sniffling and smiling happily. This is what his dad would be like. Just do whatever your mom says, kid. Him saying, this is where he's like, but mommy, you can't leave me. You can't leave me. And this is where yellow aura will come from them. And sparks of lights will descend into the heavens. Them officially die. This is where Belle's grandpa, also known as Zeus, would come up from behind him and say, I'm sorry, kid. This is where Belle would just look at it. And this is where Zeus would see something that he never hoped to see. The one Tomoe Sharingan. This is where Belle would zoom off. And oh yeah, this dojutsu would be OP. Wait, guys. So yeah, I'm sorry for pausing the video, but last point I left off was Belle zooming off. Him crying, going at insane speeds. This will be Mach 1. If you don't know what Mach is, it's a level of speed. Mach 12 is the max. just to let you know. Him going at Saints. No, I'm not gonna make it Mach 1. I'm just gonna make it 50 miles per hour. He's going that fast, and this is where he would get to his house, run, almost busting down the door until it opened. This is where he would run, seeing that time moves a little bit slower, seeing a vase just about to fall. Him not wanting to get into trouble would run quickly, put it on the table, seeing that how fast he is. Him running back up to his bed, and this is where he would close his eyes and start crying. So where he will fall asleep. Zeus, once again seeing the Sharingan, will be like, my son. He'd be like, he would not have any words. The Sharingan. The one dojutsu that can surpass me ended up with my grandson. Him thinking, good. Him saying, good. I didn't want it to fall into the hands of no one else but my grandson. It could have landed in my son's hands. Wouldn't care. Or my grandson. As long as it lies in between him, there's nothing to worry about. In 1 month from now, I'm gonna fake my death. He's probably gonna awaken the 2 Tomoe, I believe. And before I leave, I'll implant some knowledge about the Sharingan into his memory. And now we skip 1 week from now. Belle decided to get up his lazy, crying butt and decided to train because he decides his eyes are special. And if he were to just use his eyes, he would be the weakest thing on earth, he would say. This is where his dad used to train on some. If you watch Street Fighter, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it has multiple sticks showing in each direction. Because Belle was with his dad taught him some lessons about that. And he would be training on that for 2 hours. Then he realized hand-to-hand combat's not all I need to know. I need to know weaponry. Because if I'm going to be an adventurer, I need to know how to master a weapon. This is where I would go to a blacksmith store in the neighborhood. Because I would steal some of the money I would take some of the money that my mom and dad left over. And I would go to a blacksmith. And this is where I would ask, can you please give me your most durable now I'm going to talk like may you please give me your most durable sword and some kunai, he would say. And this is where the blacksmith would say, how much, kid? I would like 10 pairs of kunai, please. This is where, pause. Yeah, so last point I left off was Belle getting a sword and some kunais. That's how he pronounces it, kunai. And oh yeah, I forgot to say something about Belle Cornell's magic. Because he has the Sharingan, you know how the Sharingan can copy movements and copy things, right? Let's say Belle has a perfect Sharingan. And this Sharingan is able to copy anything first a glance. I know, it's pretty OP. Wow, let me get into it. So, Belle is like, thank you, Sha, and takes the weapons. And this is where he would go to his house. His grandpa Zeus would be like, or his grandpa, let's call him grandpa. Yeah, just grandpa. His grandpa would be like, why all the weapons? He says, I'm gonna train to be an adventurer, just like mom and dad told me to. This is where, not on command, for some reason his dojutsu will activate. This is where everything will start move slowly except for Zeus. Because Zeus matched his speed to go as fast as Belle's eyes. This is where Belle will release his eyes. Zeus almost forgetting, going faster 1 second and then stopping. This is where Belle will be like, I'm going to the dummy now. Going to the dummy, placing his some kunais in a pouch that he kept on his right leg. This is where he started training with the sword, doing 1,000 cuts or slices. Him doing, you know what? Let's say 2 million. Yep, we're gonna make him really OP. So he's doing 2 million thing, and at the end he's exhausted. He says, but I will not stop persevering. He's saying. And this is where he would grab kunais, see all the targets, activate his eyes on command, and then throw them. Then he jumping up in the air, doing an Itachi move, hitting all of them, being happy. And this is still his one Tomoe. And let's say he'd been training for 1 month. So right now he would be really strong. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but he's really strong. So right now is the fateful day his grandpa dies. This is where his grandpa does die. And he tells him the same perverted speech. But Belle's not going to listen to that. He's going to be like, him crying as well. First, Mom, then you. No, Belle, the grandpa is nowhere to be found. I almost changed up the story. Sorry. The grandpa's nowhere to be found. And Belle's starting to think that something bad happened to him. And he's starting to cry. He's like, first Mom, then you. Him starting to cry even harder. This is where his the 3 Tomoe in one eye, the 2 Tomoe in the second. He says, I will become the greatest adventurer ever! Ah! Ah! Him screaming. And then, let's skip to the same day that Belle's gonna meet his Hestia. He's walking through the Aurora. He's like, gotta find the familiar. Him with his hoodie on. He's looking. No. Go in. Get kicked out. No. Go in, get kicked out. Go in and then get kicked out. I guess I really am a burden, he would say. I swear the last time he got kicked out, he would get kicked out, then he would see Hestia. Hestia would say, would you like to be in my party? This is where she says, no, yeah, take off your hoodie. I want to see your face. Belle will take off his hoodie, and she would think Belle is packing, or hot, I should say. This is where she would say, oh, you're a cutie. Her saying, thinking Belle's not going to catch on, or he's too innocent and everything. This is what Belle would say. Thank you, goddess. What? Because he knows that a goddess has to invite you to a family. He would say, goddess. She would interrupt him and say, Hestia. Goddess Hestia. Okay. This is where everything would play out as normal. Belle not going into the dungeon on the first day. But let's say 1 week pass. And this is where Belle's going to meet the the Minotaur again. But this time, eyes is gonna be stuck. It's gonna be stuck. This is where Belle is now slicing through monsters pretty easily, saying these are not a challenge. Still with his 3 and 3 tomorrow Sharingan, just to let you know. So where he's slicing through monsters like it's no biggie. He's like, this is boring. Him throwing kunais at them easily. This is where he would hear a scream, unsheathe his sword. So where he would activate his 3 Tomori Sharingan. Looking through everything. This is where he would see a Minotaur about to kill a girl. This is where he would start running. This is where out of pure agility, he would activate wall running. Let's say it's a skill set that this Sharingan possesses. And this is where he would start running. He would start running on walls. Getting there faster, dodging all the monsters. He's like... This is where he would see the Minotaurs about to hit Eyes. Eyes is strong in this one, but this is a big, stronger Minotaur. This is where Belle would go and hold the Minotaur back with his sword. So where his sword would then break. This is where he would have to rely on his kunais, throwing all 8, because he wasted 8 of his kunais into the Minotaur's stomach. The Minotaur still being able to move. This is where Belle would be like, oh, this is how we're gonna play? Then let's do this. This is where he would grab his 2 fists and start running. This is where he would first throw a right hook to the Minotaur's face, sending it sliding back a few. This is where he would start kicking it. This is where he would do it. If you know an aerial like that, but he throws his kick into there. This is where he decides to do a fade, because he understands the monster is smart. And so where he goes for a right hook, but then a left uppercut, sending the Minotaur up flying. Its horns hitting the wall. This is where Belle will grab its face and drag it along the wall, pretty damaging it. This is where Belle will grab its feet. Yeah, Belle has a strength enhancement. This is where he would grab his feet and start swinging him. This is where he would throw him. This is where the Minotaur will have enough. Will grab his blade, and this is where Belle would not be able to dodge in time. This is where he would get his right eye sliced. But it's like a Kakashi slice. His eye won't be damaged in any way. His eye will get sliced. And this is where he would cover up his eye. So he says, this is where he would look at eyes. And this is where he would say, time to go. Grab her by the bridal style and start running. This is where his eye is now leaking out blood. Him trying to make sure that it doesn't none of the blood doesn't land on eyes. This is where he would drop her. So where she says, wait for my party. So where her party would come. Belle would start standing still. And this is the point where he will activate the 3 Tomoe. You guys heard me say he had the 3 Tomoe, but I never said he unlocked it now. Now he unlocks it. This is where he would unlock the 3 Tomoe. This is where the Minotaur would begin to move slowly. This is where he would breathe. Put out his arm into a sword motion. This is where he would punch the Minotaur so fast that even the blood that the Minotaur spits up would start going slowly. And he would start uppercutting, punch, 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 punch. His punch making holes in the Minotaur. He's going rapidly fast. And this is where I'm going to have to pause because there's noise in the background. So last time I left off was saying that Belle had just awakened the 3 Tomoe and is now rapidly punching the Minotaur, punching it so fast that no one sees that he's moved. Belle, his party is running in place, and Belle's just punching it rapidly. This time going at Mach 5, like going that fast. And this is where he would stop. He would turn over. This is where blood would just splattered over him. This is where the Minotaur would fall. It's where he would turn around. Everybody see 3 type Tomoes in his eyes. So where he would fall from exhaustion. And this is where he'd be like, all of his gems. He has a lot of shards, I believe, in his pocket, in his pouch, but he's knocked out, and they still give him the big thing. There's 2 horns this time, and they give it to him because he's the one that saved her, and she's starting to catch feelings for him. Yeah, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm talking about Eyes. Wallenstein is starting to catch feelings. Bet is a little bit jealous. He thinks that he could have took that on easily. He thinks one slap, that's gone. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's like, one slap and that bitch is gone. And this is where he would be like, I can fight a Minotaur. Those Minotaurs are so goddamn weak. I'd be punching them one punch and they be gone. Shouldn't be talking. So where they would bring him to goddess Hestia. Hestia would be shocked to see him, and this is where let's skip to where he wakes up. So where he'd be like, this is where he would see large breast in his face. This would be like, Hestia. So this is where his vision would come to play, and this is where he would like fall out of bed. He would fall out of bed. He would be like, Goddess Hestia. So where Goddess Hestia would start to wake up. So where he says, bro, you finally woke up. Don't ever scare me like that, ever in your life, or I will come to haunt you, she would say, sleepily. And this is where I'm going to end the video off.